Today we are going to discuss about the fundamental diagrams of traffic parameters, and these traffic diagrams or the fundamental diagrams are related to the three parameters that we had seen in the previous lectures, that is the traffic flow, the speed and the traffic density. So based on these three parameters, how they are interconnected or how they are linked, so that linking or that interconnection is shown by this fundamental diagrams. Okay. So we'll start with the first relation, that is the relation between speed and density. So speed is the traffic stream, not the speed of the individual vehicle. We are considering the speed of the whole traffic stream at large and the traffic density. So for understanding this relationship, let's consider a road. It's a two-lane road and it's a unidirectional one. Okay, that means only one direction traffic is going onto it. Well, it is left to right, say. Okay, so on this road or for this road, now if I start doing a survey or a videography survey, okay, and then I see the recording later, and then side by side, if I plot this graph of speed versus density, wherein the speed in kmph, it is on the y-axis, and then the density, which is expressed as vehicle per kilometer, that is given on the or plotted on the x-axis. Okay. So now what will be there, that initially there will be just a road. Suppose we have started the video somewhere late around 1 AM or so. Okay, at that time the road is empty. Okay, there is no vehicle on it. So when there is no vehicle, and if suppose a single vehicle enters that road, then that vehicle, it can travel at whatever speed it desires. The driver has no restriction as such. If the road is empty, no vehicle is there, no interruption is there, okay, there are no signals, so in that case your driver can travel at any speed desired. So that is known as a free flow speed. Okay, and if you plot it on x-axis, so speed will be maximum, that is the denomination given here, sf. Okay, but the density will be 0, because the vehicle, what is density? It's vehicle. Just a minute. Sorry. Yeah. So speed is plotted on the y-axis and density is vehicle per kilometer. But if you don't consider this vehicle, which you can see on the screen, so the road is likewise empty. There is no vehicle. So if there is no vehicle, there will be 0 vehicles per kilometer. So that's why the density is 0. Okay, for this case. Now once the vehicles, they start coming on this road, okay, suppose 2 more vehicles have been added. Okay. Now in this case, now this becomes slowly what we are seeing is the stream is building out, the traffic stream, it is going on building. So here you have 3 vehicles. Now the speed of the stream as such collectively, that will reduce a bit. Okay, though there is an empty road in front of them, but then too, if you consider collectively, so the speed of car and speed of two-wheeler and this speed of truck, so collectively if you consider this as a stream and calculate their speed, so that will be obviously a bit less. Okay. And now the density also, it will have some value, as you have 3 vehicles on the road now. All right, so you can see the second point on the graph. So the speed is a bit less and you have some value of the density. Now some more vehicles have been added. So again the speed will decrease. So what will happen is, as the vehicles go on adding up, or they start occupying the road, the speed is going to go on decreasing, because more number of vehicles on the road, that will create a sort of hindrance to another vehicle. Okay, or both the vehicles or all the vehicles will make, or they will be acting as a hindrance to another vehicle. Okay, so now again if we see the third point, the speed has reduced even further while the density goes on increasing. Okay, if I introduce some more vehicles, then again the speed will reduce, density will go on increasing. Again some more vehicles, speed will again reduce, density will increase. Some more vehicle. Okay. Now this will go on until your speed of the stream it reaches a zero value. Now when it will reach a zero value, if this is the case, so it's total traffic congestion. You can see the whole road is occupied by vehicles, and now there is no chance for any vehicle to move. Okay. So in this case, now the traffic has came to a standstill. So for this condition, if I plot that point on my x and y axis, so it will be here. Okay. At the very end, it will be on the x axis. The density will be maximum in this case, that is number of vehicles per kilometer. So suppose this stretch, what you are seeing on the screen, suppose this is 1 kilometer. So in this, whatever are the number of vehicles, that will be maximum. Okay. And because the stream has came to a standstill due to congestion, so no vehicle is moving. So obviously there is no question of any extra vehicle being added into the stream. Okay. So that's why the speed has also, you can see it has came to zero because the vehicles are at standstill. What we say that a traffic jam condition or a traffic congestion condition. So this is that condition. Okay. So if I join all these lines or join all these points, I'll get a straight line having a linear slope decreasing. Okay. And if I plot some more points over here, so I have now 4 points that I have given the namings, that is SF, SO on the y-axis and DO and DJ on the x-axis. So what is this? D is nothing but the density. So DO and DJ, DO is the critical density and DJ is the jam density. Likewise, SO, it is the critical speed, and SF is this free flow speed. Okay. And the line, this red color line, what you see, so this is nothing but the congestion or the oversaturation phase. Okay, this line indicates. Now, what actually are these terms? So, as I told you, the first point that we had considered, SF, this one. So, this was the condition when you had no vehicle on your road. So, the density was almost zero. Okay. If one vehicle has entered, then two, it's almost equivalent to zero as compared to other. Okay. So, in that case, I told you that the driver is free to drive at whatever speed he or she desires. So that we say in terms of traffic as a free flow speed, that the vehicle can move freely without any hindrance with that particular speed. Okay. So that is your SF. Now we have seen that once you go on introducing vehicles, or once the vehicles come into picture, more and more number of vehicles, they come onto your road. So the speed of that stream, it goes on decreasing. Okay. And then it reaches a certain point. You see the interface between the black line and the red line. Okay. So this point. So it reaches such a speed that till that speed, the drivers won't mind traveling at that speed. Okay. So even if the free flow speed is the most desirable by all the drivers, but then too, if they have to travel by some less speed than the free flow speed, then too there is no objection, as long as it is greater than this SO, that is the critical speed. Okay. Once your speed it drops below critical speed, then what happens is your traffic, the traffic over there in that area, it starts to get congested. Okay. Or there is a building up of a queue of vehicles, and then that results in reduced speed. So in that case, then the driver feels some impatience or irritation because he has to travel at a very less speed, and that is not desirable. So that's why this speed which is less than SO, that will be into the that will be the speed of the traffic stream in the congestion phase or the oversaturation phase. So that's why SO, it is termed as a critical speed, because till this speed there is no problem to any driver in the stream to travel with this speed or greater than this. Okay. The problem arises when the speed of the stream it drops below this critical speed value. Okay. At that time, we say that the traffic has started building up and the congestion has started building up. Okay. And corresponding to this SO, if I just drop a vertical line on the x-axis, so I'll get some density value, and that will be corresponding critical density, density corresponding to the critical speed. So likewise, as I said, that critical speed, it is the one, or it is a boundary after which if the speed drops even further, there will be congestion in your system. So similarly, DO is the critical density after which if the density of the vehicles increase, then there is going to be a congestion phase. You remember very clearly, or try to understand, not remember also, understand it very clearly, that critical speed or the speed below critical speed is not desirable, and the density above critical density is not desirable. Okay. So this is your first relationship between the two parameters, that is speed and density. Coming to the next relationship between another two entities or another parameters of traffic stream, that is speed and flow. So in this, again we'll consider the same road. It's a two-lane road having a unidirectional traffic left to right. And again, you have set up all that videography thing, and now you are recording the video and then you are analyzing it, and side by side you are plotting a graph. This time the graph is of speed versus flow. So the speed value in kmph, it is plotted on the y-axis, and the flow value in vehicle per hour, it is plotted on the x-axis. Okay. Now again we will do the same thing, that we'll assume that we have started this video when the road was completely empty and there was no single vehicle, and then one by one the vehicles started arriving on this road stretch. Okay. So the first vehicle, when it arrived, so obviously the speed will be maximum, as we have seen previously also. So the same SF free flow speed will also be considered here. Okay. And now if you recall the definition or understanding of flow, traffic flow, so traffic flow is nothing but number of vehicles passing through a particular point in a particular time interval. Okay. So for the unit purpose, we have taken it vehicle per hour. So in 1 hour, I'll be calculating, or I'll be seeing how many number of vehicles are passing through a particular point. And suppose that point, we will consider this extreme right side of your traffic, extreme right side of your road. Okay. So suppose this is the point that we are considering. So we will be interested in knowing that how many number of vehicles are passing through this point. Okay. So by that we will calculate the flow value, or we will get the flow value. So when the road is empty, the vehicles are not there on the road, and if suppose a single vehicle enters the system, so it can travel at whatever speed it desires. So that is the free flow speed, but still it has not yet passed this point that we have considered. So we'll name that point, suppose X. Okay. So it has not yet passed this point X, so obviously the flow value is still 0. Okay. Why? Because even though there is vehicle on that stretch, but it has not passed the point of consideration, and flow is nothing but number of vehicles passing a particular point within a given time interval. Okay, so that passing a particular point, it is very important to understand the concept of flow. Okay. So unless and until your vehicles don't pass that point, they are not counted into the flow. Okay. Now one by one the vehicles have started entering. Okay. Now for the pictorial representation, I have not converted this into a working animation, so the vehicles can be seen as stationary. But now I am telling you that assume that once you see the vehicles on this stretch, they are moving. Assume that they are moving. Okay. The only thing is I couldn't show here, so that's why I'm telling you to assume. So these vehicles are moving in this direction. Okay. So anyways, they are going to pass this point X at some point of time. Okay. Or even we'll consider that we are recording a video and we have paused that video. Okay. So we have paused, so that's why you are seeing at this picture. But if you would have started it playing, So the vehicles would have been seen moving and then it would have passed the point X. So it's not like you are seeing a stationary image, so the flow value is 0. Don't think like that. There is some flow because vehicles are going to pass this point X. The only thing is I am showing you the stationary images. All right. So now 3 vehicles have entered into the stream. So obviously, again, like we have seen in the relationship between speed and density, so the speed of this stream, it will decrease a bit. Okay. But as compared to flow, if you see now, in the speed versus density plot, the speed value was somewhere here, or the value, second point we had plotted somewhere here. But now in the speed flow plot, you can see the value has decreased, but a bit, because as compared to the flow value is also less because it's only 3 vehicles that are passing. Now, when I introduce more vehicles, again the speed value will decrease. This is, again, you can understand it by logic also, and you must have seen also that more the number of vehicles on your road stretch, less will be the stream of your traffic. Okay. Or if you are not getting the concept of traffic speed of your traffic stream, consider that if there are more number of vehicles, you can't drive at the speed what you desire. Okay. Maybe you want to drive at 80 kmph, but due to many number of vehicles around you, you can't drive at 80 and you have to be satisfied at somewhere 40 kmph. Okay, so that's the thing you can consider while understanding this concept of speed of traffic stream. Okay. So as I go on adding vehicles, or as vehicles start arriving into the road stretch, okay, the speed value goes on decreasing, and you can see the flow value is increasing. Okay. The flow or the point, it is moving in the right direction towards the increasing side of the x-axis. Okay, because all these vehicles are ultimately passing this point X, just that I am not showing you the moving picture, I am showing you the stationary picture. Okay. Again, I add some more vehicles, the speed value decreases, add some more, the speed value goes on decreasing. Okay. And after some point of time, after this point, okay, now we have seen that your speed has reduced up to this point, okay, and the flow value is also a quite sufficiently high value. Okay. Now observe, when I put on more vehicles into this system, okay, suppose 2 vehicles have been introduced. Now obviously the speed is going to decrease, but now you see here what has happened. The point now it has been plot, or the point is seen that it is shifted backwards on the x-axis. Till now what was happening? The point was the points, they were, the speed was reducing, so the points were dropping vertically downwards, and the flow was increasing, that's why they were increasing in the x direction. Okay. But now at this point what has happened, the speed has decreased, but the flow value has also decreased. Now why it has decreased? Because again, go back to the definition of your traffic flow. What I had said, that traffic flow is number of vehicles passing a particular point within a particular time interval. Okay, so passing a point, now they have to pass that point of observation in order to be counted into the flow. Okay. But now as the traffic goes on increasing, the speed goes on decreasing. Okay. So the number of vehicles that would have been passing the point X that we are considering, it would have been more when there were less number of vehicles. Okay. But as the vehicles go on increasing, the speed reduces, that's why less number of vehicles pass the point. Okay, they are there in the system. Okay, because we have seen that density goes on increasing, it doesn't come backward, but the flow value comes backward because they can't, or the vehicles can't pass the point X, okay, in that particular time frame. Okay, maybe it takes some more time to travel that distance from the start point of this road stretch. Okay, start point is suppose A. So from this A to X, it will take some more time as there are more number of vehicles. So that's why you see the point, it is plotted like the flow is coming backwards. Now more number of vehicles, again the speed is decreasing, and again the flow, you can see it is reducing. Okay. More number of vehicles, again flow is reducing, and at this condition, again we have taken the same scenario that now it is a fully traffic congested scene, that no vehicle is able to move, all vehicles are at a standstill. Okay. And the whole road is occupied with vehicles. So in this case, again the speed is obviously zero because it's a standstill condition, traffic jam or traffic congestion is there. So that's why its speed is zero. And at the same time, now if you see, the flow value is also zero, because even if we are saying, or you are seeing, these many number of vehicles are there on this road, but they are not able to pass this point X only because there is a traffic congestion. Okay. So if they are not moving, if the speed is zero, so obviously they can't pass a point X. So that's why the flow is also zero. All right. So now if I join these points, now if I join these points, I'll get a parabolic type of shape. Okay. And again, if you see, the curve is given two colors. The black one is the normal phase, and the red one is the oversaturation or the congestion phase. And again, I have plotted some points. Now in this SF, you all know by now that it's the free flow speed when there is almost zero flow or zero vehicles on your road. So at that time, any driver can travel at his or her own desirable speed, and that is the free flow speed, which is the maximum. And as the speed goes on decreasing, we reach up to a point S0 or SO, where the speed reaches the critical value, or SO is the critical speed. Okay. And below this, when the speed drops below SO, then the congestion starts on the road. Okay. And that can be seen on this red curve also. Okay. And then the flow values also go on decreasing. So corresponding to SO, the flow, if you see, so it's the maximum flow, that is VM. Okay. So the flow is designated as capital V in case of traffic, or in this condition, in this example that I'm showing. Okay. So VM is the maximum flow. Okay. And again, red color is the congestion or the oversaturation phase. So this is the relationship between speed and flow. Now the last relationship, that is the one between flow and density. So we have seen so far the relation between speed and density, speed and flow, and the last one remains is flow and density. Okay. So again, the same scenario, you have a two-lane road, unidirectional traffic, okay, and you are plotting a graph. Now the graph is flow is on y-axis, which is expressed in vehicle per hour, and density is on x-axis, which is expressed in vehicle per kilometer. The same practice will go on, that when the road is empty, there is no vehicle on the road. So obviously the first point you will get is at the origin itself. If the origin starts at 0, so as there is no vehicle, so density is 0 because 0 vehicles per kilometer, and flow is also 0 because no vehicle is there, so no vehicle is passing any particular point, whatever we are considering. So that's why it starts from 0. Now once some vehicles come into picture, then the density value increases and the flow value also increases. Okay. Density increases because now you can see in a particular stretch for 1 kilometer, suppose, you can see these 4 vehicles. Okay, so there is some value of density, and also these 4 vehicles are crossing, they are moving. Okay, again I'm stressing, they are not stationary, they are moving in this direction. So there will be some flow value. Okay, so that you can see by this second point over here. Again, I go on introducing some more vehicles. The flow value increases and the density also increases. Okay. And at a particular point, you reach a maximum flow value, and after that, then your flow value goes on decreasing. Now, why it goes on decreasing? Now, again, that once the traffic reaches, or the number of vehicles or the count of the vehicle on a particular stretch, it reaches almost the capacity of the road, then your congestion goes on building up, and then your vehicles are unable to cross the particular point with the same speed. Okay, so speed is reduced, so that's why the flow also goes on reducing. So that's the case, and the density, nevertheless, it goes on increasing, because density is just a function of, in a particular stretch or in a unit length of road, how many number of vehicles can be accommodated. So that is the density value. Okay, so the density value, it goes on increasing up to, again, this condition where now you have a full pack condition, all the vehicles have taken the space on the road stretch, and now all the vehicles have came to a standstill. There is no vehicle moving, so the speed has dropped to 0. So obviously, if the speed has dropped to 0, that means not a single vehicle is passing through a road stretch, so that's why the flow value has came down to 0, and the density, it has reached a maximum value over here. Okay. So no more vehicles can be accommodated now. So again, if I join, I'll get a curve. Again, it will be sort of a parabolic one. It will have two phases, the black one, which is the normal phase, and the red one is the congestion or the oversaturation phase. Okay. And again, if I plot some points, so the maximum or the peak of this curve I'll get, that will be corresponding to the maximum flow value, Vm, and the corresponding density, it will be dO, okay, which is nothing but the critical density. So after this dO, if the density goes on increasing, then we say that we are entering into a oversaturation phase or a congestion phase. Okay. And the maximum density that is achieved, that is the jam density, dj. Okay, so beyond this, no vehicle can be accommodated, and this is the maximum density that can be achieved. Okay, so this is the third relationship between the traffic parameters. The first one was speed density, the second one was speed versus flow, and the third is flow versus density. Okay. So now, as you have seen all the three graphs, now if I tell you to find a relationship between all these three, that is the volume, the flow, and the density, so it can be written by a simple equation that Q is equal to Vs into K. Okay. Now here the bit terminologies have been changed. The graph, in the graph you had seen the speed was given by S, the flow was given by V, and the density was given by D. But here I have changed the terminologies a bit. Okay. You can use the same as well, no issues, but I'll not overwrite over here. So Q is equal to Vs into K, where Q is the flow value. Okay, so this is the flow value, and if you see, I have written average volume of vehicles passing a point during a specified period of time. Okay, so number of vehicles passing a point during a specified period of time, that is nothing but your flow value. Vs is nothing but the speed, and particularly this is the space mean speed. Now you have seen what is space mean speed, we have seen in the types of speed. So space mean speed is nothing but you have to take the average of all the vehicles in a particular space or length over a particular duration, and that is considered as the space mean speed. So that is the Vs over here, and K is obviously the density value, that is number of vehicle occupying a unit length of roadway at a given distance. So this is the very simple relationship that I have written here, the relationship between flow, speed, and density. Okay. Now, as this relationship, it looks very simple. Okay, it's a straightforward. So obviously, there has to be some assumption to it. So this relationship, it is, you have to note it that this relationship, or rather all the relationships that you have seen. Okay. So whatever graphs you had seen, the graph versus graph of speed versus density, then the graph of speed versus flow, and the graph of flow versus density. Okay, so in all these graphs, there was some relationship. Okay, we didn't find the equations for these curves, but if you find that, you'll get some equations. Okay, so that will give you the relationship between the those particular parameters. So these relationships, they are true only for homogeneous traffic flow. Now, what is homogeneous? You know this term. Homogeneous is nothing but a one kind of thing. So homogeneous, we say that suppose, okay, not giving the example, okay, but homogeneous is nothing but a single type of, or there is no variety in your system. Okay? So in case of traffic flow, when you say that it's homogeneous, it is sort of that, suppose on a road stretch you have all cars. There is not a single two-wheeler, not a single truck, or not a single any other type of vehicle other than the car. So in that case, that stream or that traffic flow, it is known as homogeneous because there is only one type of vehicle in it. But you all know this is a quite ideal or a theoretical kind of situation you can get. Though in some countries, in some developed countries, for a particular road, you can have this condition that there are only cars over there. But if you talk about Indian conditions, in India, you will rarely see, or I have never seen, also you might have never seen, that only one particular type of vehicles are moving on the road. Okay? There is always more than one number of vehicles. So in that case, that traffic system or that traffic stream, it is not called as homogeneous, but it is heterogeneous. Okay. So in case of heterogeneous traffic, these conditions, they will not hold true exactly. Okay. So what I am saying is, suppose if you do the survey of any road in India, it may be a rural road, expressway, national highway, state highway, and if you find out all these parameters, speed, density, and flow, and then plot the graph, so you'll not get the exact same curves, okay, or the exact same slope. That is because the conditions are heterogeneous in this case. Okay. And another important thing to understand in this equation is that if suppose you are asked that which one of this parameter it is difficult to find, okay, from a survey. Suppose you have a videography survey and I ask you that which of these parameters is very difficult to extract from that survey. So what is your guess? What is the answer for it? Which parameter will be difficult for evaluating, not evaluating, will be difficult for extracting from that video? You can type your answers in the chat box quickly. So which of the three parameters you think will be difficult? Just write speed, flow, or density. Which one? Okay, Vedantika is saying Vs. Vs is the space mean speed, Vedantika. I am asking out of flow, density, and speed, which of the parameters you think will be difficult to find out from the survey? Okay. Either from the videography survey or from the actual survey on the field, which one will be very difficult to find out? Okay, till now I got 4 answers, 5 answers, 6, 7. All are saying speed. Speed is difficult to see. Think in this way, that what I am asking, if you are told to do a survey for any given road, and if I tell you that after doing the survey, you have to analyze it and you have to come to me with 3 parameters: the flow, the speed, and the density. So for which parameter you will find it difficult? And all of you have written, or most of, not most of you also, because there are 54 students, but only 7 to 8 people have answered. Yeah. So most of them have answered speed. I have got 2 answers now saying flow. Okay. आता speed मी doubtful म्हणल्यावर लगेच flow वरती आले. तसं नका करू, विचार करा जरा. What is flow? You have to, flow is nothing but number of vehicles passing a particular point. So if you have a video of a video recording, you have to come back to the office, just play it on your system, and you can just slow down that video. You can reduce the speed, you can consider one point as a reference, and then you can easily count, not easily, but you can count the number of vehicles passing through that point. Okay, though you have to do it manually, but then too you can count. There are also softwares for it nowadays. You can count it through the software also, but the flow value is the very most simplest parameter to find. Okay. After flow, a bit difficult parameter to find is the speed. Okay, because for speed also you can have some deployment. You can have speed guns installed on the road in all directions, so you can get the speed values of different vehicles. Also, you can analyze the speed from the video itself. Okay, by simply using the principle of distance traveled and time. So if you have that recording, so you will be knowing, or you will be firstly marking something on the road which will tell you that okay, this is the 50-meter stretch, and when you play the video for a particular vehicle, if you just see the start point, it is entering, you start your stopwatch, and then after 50 meters or for traveling that 50 meters, how much time it requires. So you can stop your stopwatch over there, and you'll get the flow value over there, sorry, speed value over there. Okay. But also I agree that that's difficult, but you can do that. And the most difficult one to evaluate from a survey, it is the density value. Okay. Because for density, what you have to do is density is number of vehicles in a particular road stretch. Okay. And I told you that the traffic is moving. It is not like you have stopped them and then you are counting the number of vehicles in 1 kilometer. The traffic is moving. So even if you have to analyze from the video, every second you have to pause the video. Okay. Not every second also, because for high speed vehicles, even in 1 second they can travel a greater distance. Okay. So even in fraction of seconds, the density value may vary. But if we do not consider, or if we neglect that minute variation, if we only go on pausing every second also, and if you have data of 24 hours, so just imagine that how much you have to work on the extraction of the data. So the density value is the most difficult to calculate. Okay. So that's why this relationship over here, it comes in handy, that if you know the flow and speed value, you can find the density values. Okay. But now what to do about this? That I told you that most of these equations or these curves, they hold true if you have a homogeneous traffic. But if you have a heterogeneous one, that is the mixed traffic, then obviously these will not hold true. And for that, this is an example. I have taken this from a research paper, and purposefully I've mentioned the name over here because if you see, this research is done by computer science engineering students or faculty. Okay. And they are presented in transportation conference itself, but they are computer science students because they have used some technology, they have got help of technology, some sensors and some advancements through which they have calculated the parameters of traffic stream. So now if you see over here, the gray dots that you see or the gray patches that you see, those are actually the various points. So they have got a lot of readings and they have just plotted it on this curves. So the gray dots are the observed values, and whatever other colored lines you see green, red, blue, and black. So those are different equations or models they have tried to fit. Okay. So now this is a bit advanced, that whatever I had told you, the curves, so they are I guess they are the Northwestern or Green Shield model. They are the Green Shield model. Okay. So whatever curves I had told you, this curve between speed and density, curve between speed and flow, curve between flow and density. So these are Green Shield models. Okay. Just to remember, it's not, it's a bit of a higher level that what is actually Green Shield models and other models, but you can see that. And actually, obviously, we will see that whatever we had seen, that it should speed versus density, the first graph you see, so it should be a straight line like this. So obviously you can't see, it's not a straight line, it is a bit of a curve kind of thing. Okay. So the black color line, it is almost perfectly indicating that. Okay. Again, the second curve over there on the right side, speed versus flow, it should be ideally such parabola, but it is somewhat on the upper side. Okay. Or it should be like this, but it is somewhat shifted on the upper side like this. Okay. And same is the case with flow versus density. It should be a bell type of curve, but instead of that, it is just saturated here itself and it goes on like this. So this is what I'm trying to say, that in case of heterogeneous traffic, these conditions or these curves, they don't hold true. So that's why it is difficult, or not difficult, it is each road or each traffic stream is different. Okay? Because each traffic stream, it will have its own characteristics, though the names will remain same, flow, speed and density, but the relationship between them, that will go on changing. And you can interpret, if you know how to interpret between these two graphs, or in between these three graphs, then you'll come to know or understand how the actual traffic stream works. So that's all with the fundamental diagrams of the traffic parameters. I'll stop here for today.